In the bustling heart of Brewster, New York, where the streets hummed with the rhythm of daily life, a golden retriever named Figo walked with purpose. His amber eyes, sharp and attentive, scanned the world not for himself but for Audrey Stone, his blind owner. Figo was more than a pet. He was Audrey's guide, her protector, her unwavering companion. Trained to navigate the chaos of the world with precision, Figo had spent years mastering the art of leading Audrey through crowded sidewalks, busy intersections, and the unpredictable ebb and flow of human life. But nothing could have prepared him for the moment that would define his legacy. It was a warm June morning in 2015, the kind where the sun spilled golden light over the pavement and the air carried the faint scent of blooming lilacs. Audrey, a sprightly woman in her 60s with a quick laugh and a love for jazz, held Figo's harness as they made their way toward the local library. She trusted Figo implicitly, her hand steady on the leather grip, her steps synchronized with his steady gait. The library was their ritual, a place where Audrey could lose herself in audiobooks while Figo curled up at her feet, ever watchful. The intersection at Main Street was busy as usual. Cars idled at the traffic light, their engines grumbling softly. A school bus, bright yellow and filled with chattering children, waited to make its turn. Pedestrians milled about, some hurrying to work, others lingering at the crosswalk. Figo paused, his ears twitching as he assessed the scene. The walk signal chirped, and Audrey gave the gentle command, "Forward." Figo led her into the crosswalk, his movements deliberate. They were halfway across when the world shifted. The school bus, driven by a distracted driver, lurched forward. Its tires squealed against the asphalt, a low rumble growing louder as it veered off course. The children inside screamed, their voices a chaotic chorus. Onlookers froze, their gasps swallowed by the roar of the engine. Audrey, unaware of the danger, continued walking, her trust in Figo absolute. If you're moved by Figo's incredible bravery, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like on Heroic Tails and Wings. But Figo saw it. His head snapped toward the bus, his body tensing like a coiled spring. In that split second, instinct and training collided. There was no time to redirect Audrey, no time to pull her back. The bus was too close, its shadow looming over them both. Figo made a choice, one that would echo far beyond that moment. With a powerful lunge, Figo threw himself in front of Audrey. His body slammed into her legs, knocking her off balance and pushing her out of the bus's path. The impact was deafening, a sickening thud as the bus struck Figo head-on. He yelped, a sharp cry that cut through the chaos, and crumpled to the ground. The bus screeched to a halt, its front bumper inches from Audrey, who lay sprawled on the pavement, dazed but alive. The intersection erupted. Bystanders rushed forward, their voices a jumble of panic and disbelief. "Someone call 911," a woman shouted. A man knelt beside Audrey, helping her sit up. "Are you okay? Can you hear me?" he asked, his hands trembling. Audrey nodded, her hands fumbling for Figo's harness, her voice breaking. "Figo! Where's my Figo?" Figo lay a few feet away, his golden fur matted with blood. His breathing was shallow, his front leg bent at an unnatural angle. Yet even in pain, his eyes searched for Audrey. He whimpered softly, trying to crawl toward her, his loyalty unbroken. A young woman, tears streaming down her face, cradled his head. "Hold on, buddy," she whispered. "Help's coming." Paramedics arrived within minutes, their sirens piercing the morning air. They worked quickly, assessing Audrey's scrapes and bruises before turning to Figo. A veterinarian was called to the scene, a rare occurrence, but Figo's heroism had already spread like wildfire among the crowd. The police cordoned off the area, interviewing witnesses who recounted the same story. The dog had jumped in front of the bus to save his owner. Audrey sat in the ambulance, her hands clasped tightly, refusing to leave without Figo. "He's my eyes," she told the paramedic, her voice thick with emotion. "He's everything." The paramedic, a gruff man with kind eyes, nodded. "We're taking care of him, ma'am. He's a fighter." At the veterinary hospital, Figo's injuries were severe. His front leg was fractured, his ribs bruised, and he had a deep gash across his shoulder. The staff marveled at his resilience. "Most dogs wouldn't have survived that impact," the vet said, shaking her head. "He's got a will to live." Surgery was immediate. A metal plate to stabilize the leg, stitches to close the wound, and pain medication to ease his suffering. Through it all, Figo remained calm, as if he knew Audrey was waiting for him. Word of Figo's bravery spread beyond Brewster. Local news stations picked up the story, and soon it was national. Social media buzzed with photos of the golden retriever, his soulful eyes capturing hearts across the country. And strangers sent cards and donations to cover his medical bills. The school district issued an apology, and the bus driver faced consequences. But for most, the story wasn't about blame. It was about a dog's extraordinary love. Audrey visited Figo every day, guided by a friend to the veterinary hospital. She sat by his side, stroking his fur, humming Ella Fitzgerald songs as he rested. "You're my hero," she whispered, her fingers tracing the bandage on his leg. Figo would lift his head, his tail thumping weakly, as if to reassure her he was still there. Weeks turned into months, and Figo's recovery was slow but steady. Physical therapy helped him regain his strength, though he'd always limp slightly. Audrey, too, healed. Her bruises faded, but the memory of that day lingered. She'd wake at night, her heart racing, reliving the moment she felt Figo push her out of harm's way. "I owe him my life," she'd say to anyone who listened. By autumn, Figo was back at Audrey's side, his harness snug, his steps cautious but determined. The town threw a small ceremony in their honor, presenting Figo with a medal for bravery. Children from the school bus, those same kids who'd witnessed the accident, made him a crown of paper flowers, which he wore with quiet dignity. Audrey beamed, her hand resting on his head, her pride palpable. Life resumed its rhythm, but Figo and Audrey were changed. Their bond, already unbreakable, had deepened into something sacred. Every step they took together was a testament to trust, to sacrifice, to love that transcended words. Figo never hesitated at crosswalks, never shied away from his duty. If anything, he seemed more vigilant, as if he understood the weight of what he'd done. Years later, when Figo's muzzle grayed and his pace slowed, Audrey would sit with him on their porch, the world quiet around them. She'd tell him stories of their adventures, her voice soft, her hands gentle. And Figo, ever attentive, would listen, his eyes fixed on her, his heart as steady as ever. When Figo passed, the town mourned. His story, though, lived on, not just in Brewster but in the countless lives he'd touched. Audrey kept his collar on her nightstand, a reminder of the dog who'd given her everything. "He didn't just guide me," she'd say, her eyes bright with tears and gratitude. "He showed me what courage looks like." And so, Figo's legacy endured. A golden retriever who, in one selfless act, became a symbol of devotion, A hero whose love stopped a bus and saved a life.